This is just unboxing.
Magic unboxing. Box tear.
So, forgive the audio. Just wanted to document my attempts at securing an Xbox Series X. I'm here, hopefully the only one for the opening of the store. They're supposed to have limited quantity. Fingers crossed. So hi, welcome. This is Pfarcus, the P is silent. Haven't shaven in a while. Look pretty grody. I'm doing everything I can to try to secure a Xbox Series X on launch, which is not easy. They're sold out apparently everywhere, even online. I managed to find one store that might have limited availability. There's another store that has them in stock that's open an hour later after this one, so I'm going to try this one first and see if I can get a hold of one. If not, then hopefully I can get to the other store in time. Fingers crossed. Wish me luck.
I guess we have a tiny third. Huzzah! Welcome to the only geriatric gaming podcast in the known universe, the Age of Gamers. I am one of your hosts, Wide-Eyed.
I'm Pfarcus.
And so, what's on the docket today, young man?
So today we wanted to talk about the next generation of consoles. The PS5 just launched and the Xbox Series X has officially launched, including the Xbox Series X fridge.
True that. Put your beers. Way cool. Yeah, and so we're going to be doing 2 unboxings.
Possibly.
Yeah. We don't know.
Stay tuned.
Literally, this is days after. We really don't know. Or days before. You don't know either. Mystery, intrigue. Woo! Yeah, so there's, we're going to do some unboxings for you all and then discuss some initial sort of thoughts and stuff like that. And yeah,
so grab some popcorn, drop a like, and away we go!
All right, ladies and germs, here we are to give you the unboxing of the almighty PS5. Play like you have never played before, apparently. As you can see, I also embellished a little bit and got a couple other items, which we'll probably tear apart into a little bit quicker than the nice big beastie that you're seeing here. Initial impressions, pretty solid. Giant. I have to yell over to Dr. Go. Yeah, it's big. It's really, really big. And it was kind of funny when I first got it. Actually, you know what? Let's do a little side story. I almost didn't get it. For all the fun that we poked at Pfarcus over the last week or so for not having a pre-order, it so turned out that I was the one that was in jeopardy. I got like a message at like 12 at night last night saying that the store that I bought it from sent a blasted email about how, we may get them, we may not get them. Probably a good chance we won't. So I was a little bit nervous. I think I called Pfarcus crying in the middle of the night. He talked me off the bridge. But but lo and behold, they did get some. So that's good. I don't have to cry and I get to give this video to you the people. In terms of just the quality of the box, very nice, very good. I don't see any issue, although the lady told me not to use the handle. Apparently that's been given out. I couldn't imagine being a person who bought it and the handle gave out and you're just sitting at the store watching your brand new, $800 purchase just lying there. That would have been, it was some good advice on her part, but as you can see, it's nice and big. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little eager, so I might just dive in and start ripping this mother apart. So, like Pfarcus had experienced before, there's those little tearaway tapes things, but I apparently have way less nails than him to help open. Xbox, you got one thing righter, is the packaging, apparently. Mother of dear God.
You can cut it on here.
I was going to mirror. Fancy dancy. Oh, mine ripped the packaging. Microsoft, you did it better. Look at this. Jeez, Sony. I mean, I love you. I bought you, but the stickers, whatever it could have been. So we got these beautiful things too. I'm gonna set them aside for now and focus on the main dealio, because that's what all of our sexy viewers want to see. All right, let's look. So right off the bat, I'm gonna say it, call it as it is. It's a little bit more, at least on the outwardliness of it, seems a little bit more Spartan than the fancy Xbox packaging. Ooh, you pull a giant box of system. Whoa. Apparently too weak. Figure out, just too big and awkward. Okay, there it is. All right, so then you're left with this sexy sleeve. See, this was a thing too. My friend that I went to pick up mine with, when he went to pull it out, pulled it out by this, and I was like, dude, you should probably hold it from the bottom, because I just have this horrible image of this caving. It's all up there. It's flimsy, and then I'll do the anti-unboxing thing where I just tear everything apart now and piss off all the ASMR people. They're like, I just want to hear the box open, man. Well, there you go. That's what you get. You get this long tubular thing that holds another box, just like all the other box openings. Sorry, you people that make money make opening boxes, but it's kind of silly. Although I'm doing it, so. All right, so then you get this cool thing. It's a white box. It's a white box with a handle. Fortunately, that's not all we paid money for, hopefully. All right, so opens up like a box, like a white box with a handle would open. Holy mackerel, that's crazy. Didn't expect that. Oh, that's kind of cool. So you got this weird little... All right, so yeah, you get this cool little opening. It's kind of like your introduction to your system before you get the system. Kind of like a stop cap, so you get these fancy little books, quick start guide, safety guide in case you try to plug it into a nuclear reactor and turn it into a spider. Man. You also get this cool thing that you always get to plug your system in. You put it in the wall, starts it up, gives it the power. The power. You get this other thing that no other system gets. Possibly the most exciting part of this whole journey. Ooh, it feels kind of sexy. It feels sleek. It feels good. Oh, it does feel good. I'm just gonna love this thing. Ooh, Sony. Ooh, interesting, since they're gonna have some haptic feedback. They literally are squishy, so I'm curious to see how that flows. Sony, I love you. I love you, Sony. I go, Sony. Good job. Good job. I'm already happy. I already bought that. That's worth the $1,000. Oh, sorry, not $1,000, wife. Ooh, don't pay attention, wife. No. Anyways, there's also this thing that everybody knows and loves, and probably doesn't actually love, but also unique to this generation system. A beautiful and mandatory stand for this behemoth. Possibly the weirdest thing I've yet to encounter in a console purchase, but it's cool in a way, sort of, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, Pfarcus had one of these bad boys, the new, whatever the upgrade, the 2.2, I think it is, HDMI cable that will run 2.2 HDMI. So when your eye is visibly perceiving the 0.2, you'll know it was because of this. Just FYI. All right, so here we go. Oh, so many boxes, so many white boxes within a white box. White boxception going on here. Yeah, I don't care anymore. Let's go over here. And, oh, holy it's really big. That's massive. Wow. Okay, well, I knew there would be some truth to it, but dear Lord, I don't know if I can pick this up with your help. You might have to put that phone down. I'm scared to pick it up like that. And then I can't really grab it like that. Yeah, Sony, I can't ever. Oh, jeez.
Okay, yeah.
There. Whoa. Thank you. Sony, thank you for making possibly the most awkward system in human history.
Oh, this
okay,
here once you're done.
This is how much more help I needed than Pfarcus, I guess, to get this thing out and about. And there's this, holy dear God. Like I gave birth to a kid or something. This is nuts. This is nuts. I'm excited. Probably more excited than I would be if I actually gave birth to a kid, because I heard that sucks. I mean, having your kid's a different story, maybe that still sucks. And oh, here we go. Now we're into the meats and potatoes. Hopefully, I'm not one-handing this to fall on the ground, and then I just get to cry in front of 1 million people, or at least 40. Here we go. Oh, look at that behemoth. Oh. And look, it's not black, so you don't see my fingerprints like you did on Pfarcus. But look how like different the packaging is, like compared to like the Xbox. I do want to point that out.
Looks like.
Yeah, just like it's interesting but different in the sense from the Xbox experience. In here, we just have giant white box upon giant white box. It's very Spartan, like a little Sony stamp of approval. Yeah, so I'm gonna give a little bit of the outward grade to Sony for that, or for Xbox for making me feel the dream. I just feel white emptiness, stark cold. No, I'm still happy. I'm still very happy. Fuck, it's just a box, man. All right, so let's see. Cool. All right, let's try to figure some of this thing out, maybe, with this thing. This is an important part of the experience. Now, let's get back to the... Ooh, yeah, let's turn it, hit the table and have it fall. Yeah, that's cool. I think it's supposed to go like here. Should probably look at, instructions. I don't think this needs a screw if you put it this way, right? Yeah, okay. Thanks. Thanks, impartial observer. Alright, let's see here. What do we got? So, apparently there's like, oh yeah, I see it. Okay, so it marks it on that and literally just goes like that. Alright, but well, there's the screw, the magic screw that everybody was taught. Just to show off, because I'm not really sure if I'm going to go sideways, horizontal, or vertical yet. I think I'm going to go vertical, but there's a part of me that also wants to go horizontal for somewhat convenience, because I don't know what's standing that. That's like touch my clock, which is really disturbing. And it's that big. This is the most simple device ever that I should not have that much confusion around. It helps if you actually read this the right direction too. Wow, okay. You need to read the instructions like an hour before you can do this. Just FYI. That's how it goes. All right, so there you go. There's your horizontal. There's your horizontal, baby. There's your 1995 VCR equivalent to today. Now you all will know what it was like to own a giant device that did something electronic. Right here. See it first. Actually see it probably like a week late. But anyway, it's cool. So that is it, man. Like that's the system. I'm not gonna screw in the thing. You know what that looks like from all the other channels. This is just how I'm gonna probably put it. This controller is awesome. This is like, it could also be my favorite controller ever. We do have these quick things. I will tear through them pretty quick. I'm pretty excited. Obviously, these were like pre-purchases I did. I made these purchases because out of pure excitement. I just got sick and tired of waiting and not having anything in my hand, even though I still saved it for you the people. So it's the media remote and the dual sense. I don't even need a media remote. I literally bought this kind of almost to have it again with these stickers that don't have tabs. I'm gonna take a friggin' Microsoft page book thing and do that. Sony. Oh, that time it didn't do a bad thing. Yeah, look at that. So this is just the charge station. This actually is legitimately a good purchase, I feel. So is the camera. I might pick that up because of the later on, maybe. Because it's good for streaming, apparently. Streaming video and stuff. If we ever get into that, we might get into that. You also need it for VR. Oh yeah, good point. Alright, another box. Screwy box. Alright, charge station. Ooh. That's kind kind of nice. Yeah. Look at that. Ooh, so it just clicky clicks in there. Put it right here too. Wants to see it clicky click. I don't even know how it clicky clicks. I guess like that. Yeah, it clicks. That's true. Kind of cool. It's like 2001 Space Odyssey, the console. Hal's gonna talk to me. It's gonna be awesome. Box. Thing. Next thing. Alright. Media remote. Yeah, this is actually always something I get because I end up chowing down at my media through a console a lot, seems. So it can't ever really be that bad to own. And it just adds to the pile of 30,000 remotes that I have. This one's white and has Sony's name on it, so, you know, there you go. It's worth it. Oh, look at that. Nice packaging. Some ASMR for all the ASMR people. Oh, yeah, that's good stuff. Oh, it's a bubble wrap. And then, oh, that's kind of sleek, kind of cool. Got a Disney Plus. I have all these things. No, I don't have that thing, but the Sony Spotify. All the other things, it works really good. Oh yeah, another cool feature of this mic I'm just going to point out because I thought I want to give Sony some props. This whole thing is awesome. Honestly, the weightiness, I am so stoked about this. And yeah, this is okay. This is decent. But this is good. The microphone. It actually has a built-in microphone. I've often wondered why, but this right here is like a mute on off button for your mic, so you don't actually have to have a headset stuck to your face all the time, and which is really good. I'm a giant fan of that maneuver. It also has like the plugins and stuff for it, as you can see. USB-C also, although I didn't see a charge cable. Maybe over there in the garbage. Anyways, like it, Sony. I'm in love. If you've made possibly my favorite controller, I haven't even used it yet. I'm declaring it's my favorite controller. Could change next week, so stay tuned. But for now, it's my favorite controller. Anyways, folks, that's it. An unboxing. Stay tuned with us, the Aged Gamer, and we will tell you kind of a more concise, maybe just wrap up our thoughts a little bit. Anyways.
Oh man, I need to shave. So, update 1, even though I'm here 2 hours before the store opened, I'm not the only one in the parking lot waiting. I was hoping they would just drive off and keep going, but there is another one in the parking lot, another car. Hopefully this is the only other one that comes and parks. I really want this. Come on! But in fairness, they did park further away than I did. So that gives me a few seconds advantage. Fingers crossed. Haha, they left. So I am still in the lead. See? Nobody else. Hopefully it's that way right up till opening. Well, it happened. Merry NextGenMas. Your Xbox, the sexiest box in town. Power your dreams with your bird. There's your controller. What is it?
Gibberish for sexiest box.
Oh, okay, I kind of lost the script there for a second, even with the phone, but... Good evening! Here we are at another episode of the Aged Gamers. This time with just Pfarcus for the moment. The P is silent. Wide-Eyed will be coming in a little bit for the PS5 unboxing, but for this, we want to unbox the sexy Xbox X that I had to wait in line since 8 o'clock this morning to get. Waiting sucks. I don't know what to say. Like I said, I had to wait in line a little bit. Stock of this thing is actually quite brutal. I do apologize if somebody had to wait in line and not get one and is waiting for a whole bunch, but you get to live vicariously.
Don't kill me. So this is the Xbox Series X. It is the more powerful version. There's also the Xbox Series S. Since I'm not a rich mofo, I didn't get both of them. I figured I'd get the most powerful one to kind of give like a best case scenario review. There's a few features listed on the box. 4K gaming up to 120 frames per second, which is kind of mind-blowing. I don't even know what that would look like. Eventually up to 8K HDR once it's applicable. The velocity architecture, which is basically saying this thing ain't slow. Solid state drive, so it's an SSD, variable refresh rate, 4K Blu-ray player. So let's unbox this thing and see what's inside. What's nice is they have these little tearaway strips, so I don't have to cut it, just in case I have my trusty crazy stalker avoidance issue protective box cutter. That was my attempt at a joke. Okay, so let's see how this thing. This is weird. Okay, so how the heck does it? Apparently, I'm too stupid to open the box. Oh, there's another. Okay. More tearaway strips here. Kind of nice that they have these little strips that are built to not destroy your box. I know some collectors like to keep a pristine box, and some of the older plastics would tear the plastic or tear the paint off the box. But kind of a collector's nightmare. There we have. So there we have it. That is one pretty packaging. Very interesting angles and very tight packaging, and almost looks like somebody spent a lot of time to ensure that even just the unboxing experience was quite pleasant. So it says, power your dreams. Oof, this thing is dense. There we go. There is the new console. Yeah. Okay, that's going to put aside. Oh, it even has a little tab to like keep it nice and pretty. Okay. So let's carefully open. I feel bad even just opening this because like everything is so pristine and like perfectly engineered to be like tight and nice. And my grubby hands are tearing it apart. You're tearing me apart! There is the naked console. Ooh, that's kind of interesting. Okay. So there we have it. The sexy Xbox Series X. On the back of the box, it has some sort of weird, like, laptop lock looking thing. I don't know what that's all about. Has a little lock with a K icon on it. I'll have to look up what that means. It has two, what I'm assuming is USB 3, although I can't verify. I imagine it's USB 3. HDMI out. It has a storage expansion, which is kind of nice. Reminds me a little bit of like the memory cards days, but except with like an actual usable amount of space. The expansion apparently is going to take about another terabyte. It's a little proprietary SSD that you can just install in the back here. An Ethernet port and a cool looking grill. There's a weird looking little thing on top. I don't know what it's all about, but I'm sure you'll see it. And then on the front is just the disk drive, sync, and eject port and power button. Sexy little power button. And then we have for some reason we have a handle because it's so heavy. Little getting started guide. Shows me how to plug things in, which is good because I am kind of not very intelligent. So it's good that they included that. Actually, some of these things can be pretty confusing sometimes, so it actually is nice that it has that. It has some steps to install the app, which I've heard they've done some interesting things with connectivity on that. So it'll be interesting to play around with that a little bit. Shows you how to sync the controllers and whatnot. Has a QR code that probably gives you access to everything on Earth. You will now have everything. So actually, okay. It actually took me a second to realize where the rest of the stuff is because everything's so sleek. It just looks like that's it, but that's not it. There's still more stuff. So let me just give myself some more space here. Juggle. I'm sure I'm making some pretty faces as I'm juggling this stuff because I'm so pretty. So this must be the controller and the cables and whatnot. So let's take a look at what we got. Okay, so what's nice is it comes with its own HDMI cord. Actually, an ultra high speed HDMI. I don't know if a regular low speed HDMI will make a massive amount of difference, but if it does, I got the speedier ones. Most important, the AC plug-in, so it can actually get power. A little quick start guide, I'm sure. Oh no, it's the warranty saying that if I drop it into a puddle, I'm on my own. So let's drop it into a puddle. Ugh. And this is the controller. I was kind of curious about this. They didn't quite make as many dramatic changes as the PlayStation 5 was going for. They kind of just had a, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, just refine it kind of mentality with the controller. So let's see. I've heard it's basically an Elite controller out of the box, which is actually kind of super nice. That you get. How does this work? I feel like that. Okay, that doesn't seem right. Oh, Violent solved it. Good. Okay, so there's the new controller. Like I was saying, they did more refining than downright innovation. They basically just made what was working slightly better. There's a little bit of a textured grip on the back. The buttons, the triggers and bumpers feel very solid. They don't feel like they feel very tight. Like they engineered it to not have too much unnecessary movement. Everything just feels solid. As you can see, there's the standard options, and I can't remember what they called the other button, but there's a third button added to it, which is basically a share function. Anybody who's had the PS4 kind of, as far as I understand, it kind of works the same way. And so it feels solid. It feels pretty much what you expect. Actually, they did a little bit of a different angle, which is interesting. I feel like that would kind of, it seems to fit a little bit snugger in my hands than the regular Xbox controller. The good thing about the Xbox Series X is it's actually backwards compatible with the original Xbox One controllers. The original Xbox One. I feel like I've said two different consoles in one phrase there, but the Xbox One controllers will work, as far as I know, with the Xbox Series X. I will be able to test that out and verify. If I'm wrong, I will update this. If I'm right, I'm always right. I'm not really always right. I'm usually wrong. Yeah, and they have the little connector port here. So like I said, it's not really, it doesn't shoot laser beams and make you a sandwich, but it feels very solid. It feels really good. So there's not too much to complain about there. USB-C charge port, so now everything is USB-C. Hopefully things will just stick to that one standard for a while, so you don't have 7 different types of USB cables lying around. If you're anything like me, you
kind of get a little annoyed that you have to find different cables for different devices, but USB-C is becoming quite the standard now, so it has a USB-C charging. Does come with batteries for this version. I'm kind of curious if, I'll have to test it out, I'm kind of curious if the recharge pack will fit, the Xbox One will fit with the Xbox Series X. I'm not sure. I imagine it might take its own. Seems like the compartment, like, yeah, actually, it looks like it probably would fit the chargeable ones, but I wouldn't recommend necessarily doing that. But it might work. It might be a hack. Who knows? I'll test it out and I'll let you guys know. So yeah, that is the Series X. Now, let's get out of these bright lights and play with this bad boy.
So, welcome back. We now have a permanent fixture with the puppy. That happened.
He's through.
So that was our unboxing of the Xbox Series X and the PS5.
PS5, yeah. So, what were your initial thoughts of your unboxing experience with the old Xbox-aroni?
Well, this is a weird thing to praise, but I was really impressed with the packaging. It felt like they had to really engineer everything, like, even when they took off the little wrapping of the Xbox itself and then try to jam it back in willy-nilly into the box, like, it wouldn't fit. Like, it had to be super tight around the Xbox to actually fit into the foam. So the foam was like within, must have been a millimeter's clearance of actually getting in the box. So they obviously engineered this to have like an unboxing experience. And I feel like that was on purpose. Like, I feel like the Xbox Series X was built to be unboxed to a certain degree. And even with the fridge they did, like, it's clear that they're aware of like the perception of their product and how, you know, people perceive it and how people like to unbox things, and you know, you YouTube audiences like to see us unbox stuff.
Yeah, they like it, and the ASMR of it. They like to hear the noises. Yeah, they like that stuff. Yeah. So, any real issues? I mean, from the outside, I mean, it looks like the the Xbox was really like premium packaged. Like it looked really good. Like opening it, as almost like being revealed. Like you'd expected some like, oh, you know what I mean? Like they really like it opened up to like the phrase "your dreams" or whatever. What was it? Like the box
Power your dreams or something.
Yeah, something like that. And so it was really a little dramatic, but the nice flair. I mean, you spend money for these things, right? You want it to romance you a little bit. You want it to at least not just slap you in the
most expensive first date I've had in a while.
True that. I can't say that, actually. My wife's really expensive. No! Just kidding. Love your wife. So that's that. So for the PS5, I don't think quite had the same love of pizzazz. Like, it was very Spartan, it felt. Not that it was bad or anything. It was, you know, white box or whatever, and you know, it was very easy to open up to. It was like very practical and pragmatic, but it definitely didn't try to like romance you at all. It's just like, you want to just tear this open, and it knows me because that's what I wanted to do. It didn't want to play any games though. And so at that stand, I wasn't really blown away by anything. I wasn't disappointed either. It was a good experience.
It was like a hot girl in jogging pants is what you're trying to say. She didn't do the evening dress.
Classy slacks.
She didn't put on an evening dress, but she knew she was hot.
Yeah, perhaps. And so it was, you know, it was pretty standard. It wasn't like anything special necessarily. Not that it had to be. It's just opening a box, people. But it, you know, when it happens to be nice, in Pfarcus' case, it comes together well.
I had the evening gown.
You did. Yeah.
And in terms of like initial setup, one thing I will
how did the cha-cha go?
Yeah, so we each had a little bit of time, not enough to do like a review, but enough to just kind of have.
We set them up.
Yeah, we set them up and press start.
So like that's pretty much all we're going to go for this episode, because we want to leave a little suspense and some meat for the next one too.
Yeah.
So.
So one thing I will say is, for anybody that does luck out and get an Xbox Series X, hardwire that thing, because Wi-Fi was a little bit painful until they realized, oh crap, I have an extra Cat5 cable lying around. And then I plugged it in, and all was well with the world.
Kind of cool that they have Wi-Fi out of the box, like no special weird adapter. I'm glad we're at that point in life.
Yeah.
But yeah, kind of not ideal.
Like I remember the day when you actually had to have like a thing that clapped on the back and
Yeah.
plugged in the dial-up, and then.
To be fair, the last gen got around that too, didn't they? I can't remember. I always hard cable everything, but
Yeah, the PS4
Yeah.
and the Xbox One had Wi-Fi. It was probably the same thing where you know, in terms of speeds, you'd want it hardwired, but.
those systems tended. I mean, if you're going to do any competitive gaming online and stuff, you probably want to be hardwired anyways. So
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, in terms of that, you found it was quite a big difference for you. Especially, I heard that too in that like loading the games and getting the thing started up, because obviously the machines now are like they pull so much from the internet. It was actually
Yeah.
sped up the process quite a bit.
Yeah, like
For you.
I didn't find like the actual console setup was bad on Wi-Fi, but it was when I started to like, so I got Game Pass, and that I started to download games.
That's how he downloads games. By the way.
I do
Literally,
this,
and they just go.
and they appear. But like downloading it off of the Wi-Fi was actually kind of brutal, especially when you look at like the average size of a game now is 700,000 gigabytes at least.
Mm-hmm.
That's math. It just hardwire it.
Just do it, folks. You're probably doing it anyways. You're probably laughing at us for even entertaining the idea, but
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you got to, right? Like when I was setting up the PS5, I came into a real issue. Pfarcus was helping me, and you know, there's only so many slots on their hub, so I had to figure out, you know, what to do, and so I put the TV on Wi-Fi, 'cause you got to make choices, and anyways.
Yeah.
So, but it's always like any main machine like that. It's good to have a nice hardwired connection.
Yeah, especially in the day and age where your toaster has a Wi-Fi connection.
Everything's asking for it. It's gross.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. So, is that everything that you felt like for that? Pierce, is there anything else? I know you were like, when we were loading up games on it, you're a little bit impatient. But I don't know if that was the system's fault or if it was like our fault because we just wanted to play next-gen games. But
Yeah, well, it was an exciting moment.
it did open up, like the Game Pass was kind of a cool experience to have kind of right out of the game. It did ask you like, oh, did you want to do it for like a month for $1 or something?
I wasn't going to do it, and I was debating on it because I feel like the world just has way too many subscriptions in general. But then it's like your first month is $1, and I'm like, oh, I'd buy that for $1,
I'd buy that for $1.
and I did.
I think overall the Xbox experience wasn't bad. Like we sat through it. We got Gears or some games.
Gears Tactics.
Yeah. Anyways, we got some games and stuff loaded up, and I thought it was really kind of quick. Unfortunately, Xbox has the sad fact of not really having any exciting launch things to really show off the system.
There's nothing that's really Xbox Series X only.
So we never tested any, or we never loaded anything of that to really speak to it much. We just loaded stuff from the Game Pass, which is kind of fast. I mean, the rest of the thoughts really will come out next week, unfortunately, people, because we'll have more time to sit down and, I mean, honestly, we've been trying to keep up with this busy tape schedule, so we will definitely have more time with the system for next Friday and Saturday or Sunday, wherever. When do we tape? Just kidding. Anyways, the next time we'll have talk about like the actual need of the systems. For the PS5, the setup, there were some cool things I'll just bring up, and maybe a bad or maybe more concerning that you might have to pay attention to. But overall, the setup was really friggin' slick. For the first time in my life, a system asked me if I wanted to download a game while it did the setup procedure. I've never seen that before. Kudos Sony. That did impress. I've never known a system to not ever ask me something nice and then do the nice thing. It was really cool. And, you know, by the time it was done doing its normal things, you know, setting up Atlantic Standard Time or wherever we're friends. And anyways, it was just nice to have a game waiting. It was just a cool concept. Everything was very smooth. You just turn on the PS4. Same thing with the Xbox, I believe. You just turn on the old one, just zapped over whatever you wanted it to through the magic of the internet. And Yeah, it was a very, very clean process. Actually, very impressive, actually. Super, super liked it. Probably the best yet. The only thing that I causally ran into that I thought was a bit of an issue, it seems to not be fully, but I did... Okay, so, spoiler alert, the PS5 is a hog of space. It's giant. It's this massive beast of insanity. Sony, that's my one thing. Yeah, it's like, where you jam it. Anyways, so I have a very kind of a traditional home TV unit. And it's not the COVID. It's pretty traditional, and the cubby holes were made for like VCRs and shit, probably. Anyways, it's pretty standard hole, though. Most systems would not have a problem going into these holes. Just gonna point that out. But anyways, I put the Sony in the PlayStation 5 into one of the ones where I had, I think, the Blu-ray player before. It's just normal space, so that's it. It fit in. I mean, it was snug, I'm not gonna lie, but it had some breathing room of like here and there. The thing is a bit closed off in the back, but I was a little bit under the impression that they weren't gonna heat all that much, but they do. They do spit out a lot of heat. I found that the system did, after about an hour or so, shut down because of heat. Like, it's a good like safety. The PS4 did it before on me too, when I had it too close. Like, it shuts off if it starts to overheat. It's good safety mechanism. I kind of suspected it right away. I had a little mini panic, like, oh god, I got the red ring and no whatever, and cried for 10 seconds, and then gathered my senses and just moved it to on top of the TV center, and where it had all kinds of room to breathe, and I haven't had any issues since. But just for you folks at home, that you may want to think about where you put that thing, because I don't think it's as simple as just jamming it into whatever position. Like, I think you have to give it lots of room to breathe. It shoots out a crap ton of air, which it has to. I mean, granted, it's a giant processing beast. So yeah, just be careful of that. Give it lots of room to breathe. A lot of modern TV units tend to have open concepts and stuff. This one's just kind of older. So you might not have to worry about it all. Just make sure it has room to breathe, and and that's a really important thing. It's obviously got the safety mechanism. The safety mechanism of shutting off if it does start to overheat, but just be conscious. Save yourself some hassle, because I had to like literally set it up and then take it down and then set it up again. Yeah, that was kind of fun. Yeah. But yeah. So that's pretty much my thoughts on PS5. Anything else that you want to share? But like, you were there for the setup. But I mean, it's pretty much the same in both cases. The only thing, I think Xbox didn't have the whole load of game while you did.
No, they didn't.
Shame on you, Willie Gates. Shame on you.
Let me play my games immediately. I need my fix. So yeah, and in terms of like even just getting it onto the shelf, in fairness, like I pretty much just slapped it beside my entertainment console, and it literally just looks like kind of like a mini PC tower.
Kind of cool, yeah. It does look cool. I'm gonna give the Xbox that. It's got a nice look. Yeah, you just set it on the side. And from what I understand, the heat all comes up.
The fan's right on the top anyway, so it's
a smart, arrogant. Like, it's very, in terms of like where it wants. Like, I feel like the Xbox demands you to, like, yes, you can put it on the side, but the logo's sideways, and it doesn't really. And the things on the end, like the bottom part, it really wants you to set it up like a tower. But it really looks good that way. So it's the positive in it.
There was one funny snag that we ran into where, because both of us ended up going vertical, and one of the things I will say is I might be stupid, and it's a strong possibility that I'm stupid, but when I try to put a disc in, I'm like, okay, well, which way is up? Because it's sideways, and the disc drive is also sideways, so there is no up.
He had to Google what way up was.
I did.
It was kind of scary.
I did.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think that's our conclusion of our initial initial setup. Stay tuned. We will talk more about, like, after we've had some time with it, played with it, seeing what makes it blow up, and don't vape into the Xbox. Apparently that's a thing that people were doing. They were just vaping into the thing.
We just want to make sure, like, you guys know along the way you're you're going with us. We're not like,
Yeah.
we're going to take our time, and instead of trying to jam out a 3-hour epic podcast, we'll do it in a couple spaces. Like, obviously, unboxings take some time, and you get to see all that. Hopefully you enjoyed it. You know, and in this case, next week we'll be talking more about like the systems itself, like what we're impressed us about the UIs, and you know, much more about the nitty gritty of everything. So yeah, stay tuned. Drop us a like and
Comment.
and
Subscribe.
and
I don't know.